Dana, what is Zenga?
Zenga is a combination of different types of exercises. It's kind of a fusion of Pilates, yoga, Tai Chi, all movements that encourage mobility through the body. It helps to create more freedom of movement through your fascia and helps people become limber and move easier and have less pain, which is great to encourage other types of movements as well.
You know, I've been doing Pilates for years, which you know, because I've been doing it with you. How is Zenga different from Pilates?
It's different from Pilates because it takes a little bit of Pilates and adds other modalities to it. So you can't really call it yoga, you can't really call it Pilates. It's the concepts of Pilates where you're having alignment and that proper form and engagement through the core. But it's not as strength-based, I would say. It's more to encourage movement. Pilates is very, strength-based, and Zenga is more of a movement-based modality.
I have tight IT bands, and they really bother me, and I know that happens a lot for runners and people who are really active. So I'm guessing that Zenga would be really good for that?
It's perfect because, what happens is people will do sports to get in shape and then they end up with all these injuries. So this kind of helps to untie the knots. So those people who are cyclists or runners and then they end up having to go to their massage therapist constantly to release these knots, you actually can learn to do it yourself through movement, and they're light, bouncy movements, and a lot of them you can duplicate with bands and balls on your own. So we really try to teach people the things that they can do at home to keep their fascia hydrated, is basically what we call it, and keep that movement through the body nice and fluid.
So what is fascia?
Fascia is actually an organ. It's a sheath that lines your muscles, and the studies now on fascia are very new. It really wasn't paid attention much. They called it the Cinderella tissue. They kind of used to just move it aside and study the muscles. Now we know fascia is basically what holds you in place. And a lot of time movement issues isn't actually coming from the tight muscles, it's coming from the tight fascia. So we really work a lot to try to help people be aware of that.
Because of the gentle nature of Zenga, it seems like it'd be really good for older folks or for people who perhaps had past injuries or other issues.
It is, absolutely. There's very many types of modifications you can make through, but it's also really challenging movements. So it can become very advanced or very gentle, really depending on the class, the group that you have in the class, or the individual person that you're working with. It's very modifiable for all ages and fitness levels, absolutely.
Dana, what do you like most about teaching Zenga?
It's really educational. People leave here more aware of where their tightness is coming from. It opens people's eyes to what's causing a lot of their pain and discomfort. And it also gives people the ability to take control of it and manage their own pain or tight areas that they're experiencing. They can kind of take control of it themselves instead of always relying on chiropractors, massage therapists, and things like that.
Do you have to have a Pilates or yoga background to do Zenga?
You do not need a yoga or Pilates background, but I found that personally myself, if I didn't have a Pilates background, it would have been very difficult. I do not have a yoga background at all. I'm not a yoga person. I actually haven't really found a yoga class that I've liked, but this is very similar to yoga, but it's more movement-based, so I think that's why I like it, because I can't sit still. So I like to move, and this keeps you moving the whole time.
Dana, thank you so much. I really enjoyed learning about Zenga, and I'm very excited to take your class.
Thank you.